Hello and welcome to Today in African History for the 27th of July. If you are here for the first time, thanks for dropping by. If you do like what we're doing here at the end of the video, feel free to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and also turn on your notification bell so that you are notified whenever we upload a new video. If you're a returning visitor and you haven't subscribed yet, first of all, welcome back. Thanks for your support. But do us a favor, go a bit further. If you like what we're sharing here, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell, share the video to friends and family, and also like the video, just so that the algorithm is triggered, and that would help us attract some more like-minded people who obviously would help the channel grow as well. If you're interested in African affairs, interested in African history, you've got friends and family, no matter where they're from, those who support the cause of Africa, those who want to see Africa do well, invite them to subscribe to the channel. We discuss our history as Africans in this channel, people who have shaped the African continent, our leaders, especially those who were in the forefront for Africa's independence. So from 1957 with Ghana, 1960s, a lot of African countries became independent from colonial rule. In the 70s and 80s as well, Nelson Mandela's release from prison after 27 years. So much has happened in Africa. Liberia being the first independent country in 1847. Important people who have shaped our history. We've had dictators as well who have shaped our history as well. Obviously, that has had negative repercussions for a lot of African countries. What lessons can we learn from these tyrants? How can we prevent our negative history from repeating itself? How can we harness the energies of our young people? The African continent has the youngest demographic. We have the most energetic people. We have very intelligent people, very entrepreneurial people. How do we harness these powers that these people have? Harness their energies, harness their intelligence, so that we can propel our continent forward. Okay, so let's get cracking with the events that have shaped our collective history today, July 27th. This beautiful lady in the thumbnail is African, obviously. We will talk about her before the end of the video. But first, let's start with Uganda. So, this is the flag of Uganda. On this day, the year was 1976, Britain broke off diplomatic relations with Uganda, at which time the High Commission was closed down. The High Commissioner's residence was let to the resident representative of the United Nations during this time. Following the overthrow of President Idi Amin in 1979, diplomatic relations between Britain and Uganda were re-established, and the High Commission was reopened in April of 1979. So Idi Amin was one of those tyrannical rulers, dictators. He was an evil, evil man. There's so much information on Idi Amin on the internet, so go check that information out. Of course, there are going to be people who would have been on his side, but he was an evil man. Most people in the world, most people who were were informed about Idi Amin would know that he was a tyrant. He didn't do good for his country. He ravaged Uganda during his time as president, killed a lot of people. Horrible, horrible man he was. Thank goodness that all that has changed now. We have a lot of young Ugandans now who are, propelling the country forward, who are doing good things, a lot of intelligent, hardworking Ugandans who are helping their country take its place in a committee of nations. So kudos to Uganda. This was the day in 1976 that Britain broke relations with Uganda because of their evil president Idi Amin. He, of course, is now dead, and someone else has taken the reins of power. And Uganda is doing well. They could do a lot better, but they're doing well. If you're in the diaspora and you're interested in investing in Africa, perhaps your parents or grandparents were Ugandans and maybe you fled the country during Idi Amin's reign, or your parents fled the country during their reign, it's time to come back home. Come back home and rebuild your country. If you're in the diaspora, you're in the United States and the UK, even if you don't have any links with Uganda, check Uganda out and see what you can do to help this country rebuild. Okay, so let's move on to the next event that happened on this day. And it's this young gentleman here. His name is Smiso Zwane, born on this day in 1983. Commonly known by his stage name, Occurrences. He is a South African rapper and half of the rap electronic duo Dirty Paraffin from Umlazi Township in Durban. Occurrences was born in Umlazi, Durban. After graduating from college, he moved to Johannesburg, where he met Dr. Speezy, with whom he formed Dirty Paraffin. The pair lived together and both shared a mutual passion for art, which eventually led to them collaborating several times. So, again, this is the man called Occurrences, South African rapper and half of the rap electronic duo Dirty Paraffin, who was born on this day in 1983. So, happy birthday. I'm not going to pronounce that name again. It's a jaw-breaking name. Okay, so let's move on to the next event that happened on this day. The day, of course, was July 27th. The year was 1975. The British government closed its consulate and evacuated British citizens from Angola. Now that's interesting. So in 1976 it was Uganda, 1975 it was Angola. So Africa must have been in turmoil in the 70s. This was subsequent to increasing tensions in Angola, with Cuban forces fighting on behalf of the Popular Movement for the Liberation of Angola and South African troops for the National Union for the Total Independence of Angola, UNITA. So again, on this day in 1975, the British government closed its consulate and evacuated British citizens from Angola. Next, on this day, this lady here, they're not two different people, just the same person while she was young and during her twilight years. Her name is Chief Margaret Ekpo, born on this day in 1914. She sadly passed on the 21st of September 2006. She was a Nigerian women's rights activist and social mobilizer who was a pioneering female politician in the country's first republic. She was a leading member of a class of traditional Nigerian women activists, many of whom rallied women beyond notions of ethnic solidarity. She played major roles as a grassroots and nationalist politician in the eastern Nigerian city of Aba in the era of a hierarchical and male-dominated movement towards independence. So, if Chief Margaret Ekpo had lived, she would have been 109 years old today. So, this is Chief Margaret Ekpo, who was born on this day in 1914, a Nigerian women's rights activist and social mobilizer, who was a pioneering female politician in the country's first republic. So, our young women, that's a woman like you. Go and do likewise. If there's anything you've seen on the African continent that you think you can change just because you're a woman, why would that stop you? Do not let what are they called now? These men who don't want women to progress. The name fails me right now. But yeah, go and do your thing as a woman. You're a woman, you're intelligent, you're beautiful. Do what you want to do. Do not let any man tell you that you cannot do what you want to do. If you know that what you want to do is right, any man who feels threatened by a woman, this is my opinion, I'm sure it's most reasonable men's opinion. If you're threatened by a woman, then you're not a proper man. Go get some balls. Beg your pardon, guys. It sounds like I'm swearing, but you as a man should be confident enough to let your woman go out and do what she wants to do. As long as she's safe, you as a man, as long as you can, provide for your woman, take care of her needs. If she has a passion to help in any way, to help the society, let her do her thing. Obviously, primarily, if you guys have kids, her primary purpose would be to take care of her own family, take care of her kids, take care of you as a man as you take care of her as well. But do not ever feel threatened by a woman, okay? She's a human being like you. Next, on this day, another beautiful woman. Her name is Olufunmilayo. Olufunmilola, I beg your pardon. So Olufunmilola Aduke Iyanda, born on this day in 1971, better known as Funmi Iyanda. She is a Nigerian talk show host, broadcaster, journalist, and blogger. She produced and hosted a popular talk show, New Dawn with Funmi, which aired on the national network for over 8 years. Funmi is the CEO of Ignite Media, which is a content-driven media organization operating out of Lagos in Nigeria. In 2011, she was honored as a Young Global Leader, YGL, by the World Economic Forum and was recently named one of Forbes' 20 youngest power women in Africa. So it's happy birthday, Funmi Iyanda, born on this day in 1971. So Funmi would be 52 years old today. Next, on this day, Bernard Okaite, popularly known as Eye Judah, was born. The year was 1991. He was born in Accra, Ghana. He is a Nigerian Afro-pop, dancehall, and reggae artist. Eye Judah currently signed to Freedom Cry Record, a record label based in Ghana, and his works are being distributed worldwide by VPAI Music, the distribution wing for VP Records, the biggest reggae and dancehall record label in the world. So it's happy birthday, Bernard Okaite, born on this day in 1991. He was born in Accra, Ghana. Also on this day, last but not least, his name is Joshua Chibi Darie. He was born on this day in 1957. He assumed office as the governor of Plateau State, Nigeria, on the 29th of May, 1999, on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. He was re-elected for another 4-year term starting in May 2003 and was impeached in November 2006, though the impeachment was nullified by the Nigerian Appeal Court in March of 2007. A decision upheld by the Supreme Court the following month, effectively returning Darie to office for the remainder of his tenure. So there is justice in Africa, there's justice in Nigeria. This man looks like a decent man. If he challenged his impeachment and was reinstated, it means he very likely didn't do anything wrong, or did very, very few things wrong. So happy birthday, sir. Happy birthday, Mr. Joshua, or Governor Joshua Chibi Darie, former governor of Plateau State, born on this day in 1957. On that note, folks, we have come to the end of Today in African History for the 27th of July. This is probably our longest video to date. So I hope you enjoyed the information that I shared with you today. I hope you find information useful and that you'll use information to do your best for the African continent and for those in diaspora as well, those who want to invest in Africa. If you're listening to this from Africa, cooperate with those who come from outside the continent to help our continent grow. Don't make them setting up a business difficult for them. These people are coming to give back to their ancestral home. So cooperate with them, and then we can all grow together as Africans. Okay, thanks for dropping by once again. For those of you who have not subscribed, please subscribe, support our young fledgling channel, press the notification bell so that you receive updates of our video uploads. Thanks once more for dropping by. You have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.